Lions fans, what up, doe?
What up, though?
Welcome to Season 1, Episode 19 of Lions Main Podcast. On this week's episode, we have a lot of topics to cover. We're Kings of the North! We'll talk Vikings and look ahead at the Titans matchup. As always, thanks for your support. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Lions Main Podcast.
We got a lot to talk about today, boys. So we got to talk about, obviously, the Vikings game since we didn't catch up earlier this week. And then we also got to finish up and look at a Titans overview heading into the Week 8 or Game 7 matchup. But first things first, we got some interesting news heading throughout the week. So your boy, the old Lions receiver, Josh Reynolds, what happened to him, George?
So apparently Josh Reynolds was shot twice outside of a strip club in Denver. He's shot in the arm and the head. Thank God it's not life-threatening, but just crazy news to hear. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but say that again.
Men can't even be horny in peace anymore.
Like, yeah, why can't he just pull up to the triangle? The pink triangle? GTA 5?
GTA 5 reference. Wow.
No. Anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyways, there's more news, though, I'd say. Specifically regarding just trade rumors and stuff like that. I like keeping my ear to the floor, listening to all the rumors.
Yeah,
you guys hear about the possible rumor with somebody in the NFC North? Maybe somebody coming back to the NFC North? With the Vikings?
I don't
believe this.
Yeah.
I also heard the
Matt
Cup
Stafford
to the Lions. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't hear that one. You've been deep into Reddit or something if you heard that one.
Well, ESPN was saying that there's a possibility of Stafford going to the Vikings. Seems ridiculous to me because Sam Darnold is playing out of his mind, and they have JJ McCarthy too.
Right.
Well,
I don't really understand it.
Also, Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Viking next year. He's got to complete the Brett Favre,
Trinity,
Packers,
Trinity.
Jets, the Trinity. So it's
I wouldn't mind that. The Vikings would suck then, so I wouldn't mind that.
Look, Stafford. Well, I don't know because Favre revived his career there, but I think that Stafford to the Lions to the Vikings makes about as much sense as Crosby to the Lions. So I don't think either's going to happen.
Fair enough.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, speaking of Crosby to the Lions, man, I mean, we're still waiting on something. I mean, we picked up a few guys. Not any day one start, not any starters coming off the line, but any other trade speculations? What about that guy down in the the AFC North?
Yeah. There's been some chatter about Zadarius Smith. Maybe not as expensive as people originally thought. There's also a couple guys on the team we're about to play. Harold Landry, who has been probably the most productive edge rusher, or really just pass rusher for the Titans this year. That's another guy that's been talked about, and one that I don't think is realistic, but more realistic than Crosby, in my opinion, is Hassan Reddick in terms of the compensation and whatnot. But for a completely different reason, I don't see that happening.
Yeah. What about I've heard some Myles Garrett speculation. Think that's a possibility? Cheaper option than Crosby, but he still costs a pretty penny.
A little older too. A little older than Crosby.
If you were Myles Garrett, why would you not be like, all right, I probably got 3 to 4 more years left, solid years. Why would I not want to go somewhere and try to win? Because the Browns will not be good for the next at least 5 years.
That's a good point. I mean, guys of that caliber that don't get a chance to actually win any games or win any meaningful games. He played in a couple playoffs, but was never actually on a Super Bowl contender. It just sucks when players that are that good. I mean, we know better than any city in Detroit with Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. When guys just don't get a chance to shine. So hopefully, if it's not Detroit, he goes somewhere in the next year or two.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that little thing you just said there, Jim, fits perfect for Max Crosby too. So just
but Max Crosby's a little younger, but I agree.
Max Crosby also, I don't know. He came out on a podcast or something, maybe on his Instagram, and said that he's not want to be traded. It was kind of like the first thing he said after all the speculation.
He said he wants to wear silver and black. I mean,
he wants to be a
Raiders. I'm ready to leave.
He's gotta say that.
He's got the Raiders tattooed on him.
I don't know. I'm like.
He also said he recognizes it's business and he thinks it's it's just all the trade rumors have been crazy, and he's been having fun with seeing all the different edits of him in different uniforms and stuff. It's just been
I've
he
only
just keeps
seen
using
one
terms like
uniform.
wild and
Right.
crazy. It's like
Right.
he can't say that he likes the idea of it. I mean, if he
I will
likes
say-
the idea of playing for the Raiders and never winning anything in his career and be a Raider for life, I mean, more power to him, I guess.
He would go down as a Raiders legend though, so I mean, he still already might at this point, but I think
Of course,
players
the Packers got him.
like that. Yeah. Don't you ever say some shit like that again? Because if he went to the Packers, oh my god, that might ruin the next 8 weeks for me. Even if we beat them, they would just ruin it for me.
Yeah.
But once again, this is all just fan fiction. None of this is rooted in anything solid. This is all things that we've heard from Debbie and HR.
I like the one where it's. You see, they asked JJ Watt if he'd come out of retirement. He was on on the Pat McAfee show, and he didn't full on reject it. He was like he had a lot of compliments to say about Dan Campbell and the Lions, and he's like, that's a good fit. Like, he kind of said, if there was a team that I would come out of retirement for, the Detroit Lions are like the team is that team. But at the end of his whole thing, he did say, he's like, but I'm really enjoying retirement life. So
he's got some Michigan ties
he's old
too.
as shit. Get out of here.
Yeah.
He's got some Michigan ties. Fire up chips, baby.
Have you seen how skinny he is now, though? It'd take him the entire rest of the regular season to get big enough to actually play.
I don't know.
Looks like you.
He does look like me, but I'd still take him over, Joe Schmo that's getting signed off of, the Dolphins practice squad.
I don't know. He's not right. He's probably not in shape right now. Like his endurance.
That's like, I mean, he's one of the greatest defensive players ever.
Right.
Yeah,
Would
so
you take?
is Lawrence
I guess.
Taylor.
Would you take like Kelvin Johnson right now?
Absolutely.
In a heartbeat. In a goddamn
I don't
heartbeat.
think he'd be like good. Like right now, like, he
probably
probably runs.
He wouldn't be able to pass the drug test, but
That's for sure. Yeah.
which is already an issue in our wide receiver room.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess we got to break it then. So J-Mo took what? What are you thinking? He took a honey pack, or what are we thinking? What is it?
That's what the streets are saying.
Is that what Tom from sales is saying? He took a honey pack?
Yep. Tom from sales heard it from Mark in marketing.
Marketing.
By the way, those honey packets at the gas stations that get you ready for the between the sheets tango, that has Viagra in it usually, or the similar drugs. It's in there. So by the way, if you're taking it yourself, make sure you know that, because as one of our friends experienced, you might feel like you're having a heart attack. But he probably took that is just speculation. So I shouldn't say he probably took that, because that's the opposite of speculation. But I mean, that'd be the sweetest suspension ever. You took a honey packet and then you're out for 2 games.
Yeah, because I know his scrawny ass isn't actually taking any like steroids or anything.
If he does, he needs to get a refund.
Right.
Ocho Cinco was saying he takes half of Viagra before all his games. So definitely could be some truth to it. A little bit of extra blood flow. Never know.
At the end of the day, it's pretty disappointing though. I mean, it falls on J-Mo. Like, I know we're joking around about it, but like, obviously this is the second time he's been suspended. First time, I feel like he got like a pass. Like, everyone felt bad for him. Like, it wasn't his fault. And I genuinely believe that, he didn't know that you weren't supposed to bet in the team facility or whatever it ended up being.
Right.
But this is
stupid
like
rule, honestly.
This is like a little bit more inexcusable.
Second suspension, yeah.
It's second suspension. It's also like, you have so many resources as a player on the Lions or on any NFL team to like
get your dick hard.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you play with Peyton Manning, got to. But no, so many resources to like know what not to put in your body, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have team doctors, you have nutritionists, you have these people that are there literally that you can ask, like, hey, can I take this? Maybe it's something he's prescribed by his his GP. It's like, hey, can I take this medication? Because I heard Adderall was tossed around. Like, obviously it's all speculation, but it's like,
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe from the
J-Mo.
GP, maybe from
Can
the
they
hood
not
pharmacy.
prove what it is?
I guess they just don't want to disclose it. Like,
If
don't
it's
have to.
if
player
it's Viagra,
confidentiality.
that's not illegal.
It can
That
be
doesn't-
considered like a performance enhancing
Right,
drug.
yeah,
It has
the
stuff in
2-game
there.
suspension. Someone sent it in the
in the text.
in the
Yeah,
text.
it's for using like blockers, right? That,
masking
you know.
agents. Here, I'll pull
That's
up the
masking
quote.
agents.
that's one of the things it could be. That's not for sure. There's masking agents, there's stimulants, and there's
Yeah,
one
he's
other
probably
thing.
smoking
So
weed after the game. He's a
You
little
can
beat,
smoke weed
smoke a
in
little
the NFL
weed.
now. You can smoke weed in the NFL.
I don't.
Can you?
I think you can in the NBA. I don't know about the
It's
NFL.
not the. I don't think you can. So
yeah, you can.
you can.
NFL players, they
think
can
so.
smoke
I
I
weed.
don't
think-
think
you
THC
can
is
now.
allowed yet.
No,
Oh.
I think you can now because the NBA for sure did it like 5 years ago.
Yeah. They don't test for it anymore, I think. Do they during the regular season?
Let's look it up.
Well, you guys look that up because this is important to
Look
know.
that up, Jamie.
This is important to know. But the quote is stimulant, diuretic, or masking agent. That's what gets the 2-game performance enhancing substance suspension.
Yeah. Interesting.
Maybe
Maybe somebody on the team just gave him a diuretic just to fuck with him. Yo,
Actually, Raymond.
absolute insult to injury. You get one catch for -4 yards, and then hey, you're gonna take a drug test.
yeah,
Not Amon Ra who snapped or any other player.
A crime against humanity that he he was potentially taking performance enhancing substance and got negative yardage.
Yeah.
He must have known that I was betting on his over.
Yeah, we'll get into that at the end because your boy's still undefeated. But biggest news of the day: King of the North.
King of the North.
Packers, Bears, Vikings. Fuck them. Do your little dance. Do your dancey dance. Go ahead, get it. Get it, George. It's just so sweet because all of these, they're so stupid, but it's like we're obsessed at looking at them. All these polls that rank the NFL teams, the like rankings that come out every week, they were seriously putting the Vikings and Sam Darnold above the Detroit Lions. Seriously, they were seriously doing it.
Well, I can't do it
And
anymore.
fuck them because
Someone
ridiculous.
on this podcast picked the Lions to lose. That was crazy.
it was our toughest game of our most tough game of the season. So I mean, I can't fault the guy. He's a loser, but I can't fault the guy.
All right, I mean, obviously it's an unbelievable win, but I will say I had some doubts about the Vikings, this was the first real test for both teams, and I think that we can walk away from this game saying that like both teams are for real. Like the Vikings look good.
Yeah.
The Vikings had a chance to win in the fourth quarter, like a good chance to win. And
Yeah, no, they did.
I got an arrogant hot take on that. I think they got lucky a little bit. I think that punch out touchdown, that's a little skill, but that's lucky. And then I think that they got bailed out a little bit on that fourth down call to go for it.
Yeah,
I think we were better than a 2-point win personally.
I think you can call that lucky, but that's just what good defenses do. Like us getting all the turnovers against the Cowboys, us BB getting the pick in this game. That's good defenses force turnovers.
Yeah,
And they harass you. They crowd the ball.
I mean, the fake punt still. That frustrated me too. They put the guy in motion. It's like,
right.
what the hell?
You're basically at least run it a few times with a motion and you punt it or something because that's just you give them a 2-second head start.
My thing is
now watching the guy. Like,
yeah,
right, yeah.
My thing
They never do this.
My thing is Jack Fox is an elite thrower. Why would you?
Yeah, right.
Why would you run any fake punt that doesn't have him throwing the ball?
Right.
Well, especially 4th and 7. If it's 4th and 3, go ahead and run it because they honestly got like 3 yards. But if it's 4th and 7, try a run or throw pass play.
And who was running it? Was it Germ?
It was
Because I know
Germ.
he usually runs those.
Yeah,
and I mean that's a Pro Bowler, so I understand why.
but he's not a Pro
Why they might
Bowler
do
for
that.
running the ball.
He's a special teams Pro Bowler, so
He's on that goofball shit.
Wasn't he
yeah.
the special teams Pro Bowler for the NFC?
Yeah, no, yeah.
but not for running the ball.
How do you get to become the special teams player? Just
catching the ball.
All around special teams play, baby.
Right,
All around,
exactly.
all around.
Well, that's Drew. That's what he did last year. He had some cool like receptions and shit that got him there. So I mean, that's what it
He'll
takes.
get a first down this year, guarantee it.
Yeah, definitely. Because Dan is going to try something like that again at least 8 more times this year.
It?
So he's going to try that at least like 8 more times this year, including playoffs. So I mean, he's going to get one first down. Hopefully, God willing.
I hope
we're going to lose games if he doesn't.
I hope to God he fucking takes that play and throws it in the trash.
Yeah, that play was
I never
horrible.
want to see that play again.
It was the least creative play I've seen the Lions run in 3 years. Least creative.
It's ridiculous, but
Up there.
that's just a ridiculous statement.
A run up the middle is more creative.
Exactly.
With a half-assed motion that didn't even
Motion
go
makes me
benefit the
sick.
play. One thing about this game is both teams are for real, but it did show both of our strengths. So the Vikings did what they do the entire year. They literally came out and punched us in the mouth. I thought that we were like ill-prepared, and obviously Dan with that punt didn't help out. But the Vikings did what they did to every team. They went up quick by double digits. But the one thing that we do well is we're probably, especially offensively, and our defense showing as well, the most resilient team in the NFL. And so you can keep punching us, but like, bro, you're gonna get tired. The Lions curse, you're gonna get fucking injured. And then eventually you're gonna wear you down, and we're gonna run it up your ass.
We're gonna drag you, keep
Pun
dragging
intended.
you to deep water.
We're literally gonna drag you until you fumble and crawl. Whatever. Fumble. Crumble. I'm trying to think of crumble.
Because we'll
Please
tread
crumble.
water.
The fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
hell does that
He's
mean?
quoting. He's
It's a
quoting.
quote. It's a damn good. We'll tread water as long as it takes for you to
There we go.
fucking drown.
Oh shit. Yeah.
It's a PG podcast.
That's a bar right there. So, yeah, that's what I got to say from that. But getting into our segment that we always talk about, our game ball segment, I think a lot of people played here well in this game. But, George, who do you want to give your game ball to?
Low hanging fruit. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 receptions, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. He balled out, looked like a beast. It's good to see him rocking. Because when he's
Right.
rocking, we are going.
Yeah. One thing I do, I mean, he's unanimously probably the player of the game. Like, he had the best game of anybody on both sides of the ball. But when he's getting the ball, everyone else is not getting touches. Laporta, J-Mo, Khalif got some, but like nobody else is touching the ball. They go Amon-Ra heavy, bro. Fuck my fantasy team. Fuck Laporta, I guess. Gibbs, yeah. That's due to Montgomery's. Probably having his worst game of the season. But
Right.
Yeah. Gibby went crazy. But I do think also a lot of that
what do you
against the
mean?
Vikings was Amon-Ra does a lot of the short routes.
what was that?
Holy hell.
Go, Drew. Go, Drew.
What do you mean?
You about to say something?
Jim was talking.
Oh. Well, you go first.
Did it come in delayed or something?
You are coming in delayed, I think.
I think it was a little delayed or something, yeah.
Anyways, go on, Jim.
Okay, all right. So, what I was going to say is because the Vikings blitz so much, I feel like Amon-Ra, I mean, he obviously had that longer touchdown, but he has a lot of those intermediate, like 10 to 15 yard routes. And I feel like a lot of times people think like when you're blitzing and you're throwing it down to one of your kind of more intermediate or check down routes, that's like a 5 yard route. Not every time, especially with Jared Goff, you can get the ball out quick. I do think Sam Laporta's got, at some point, something's got to give. The dude's too talented to be getting one catch. I mean, I think he has like maybe 10 catches on the season.
That's insane.
It's annoying.
Was he a 1,000-yard receiver last year?
No, borderline. He would have been, except he missed a game.
Yeah.
But he came on strong in the second half of the year, too. I mean, he was strong to start, but he really kicked up in the second half. And he also has a little bit of a lingering injury, so I expect to see more out of him, but especially with J-Maw. But something's got to give.
He played well even after that injury. I was impressed with that. When he came back so quickly, I was like, oh, please don't say we rushed it and something bad's going to happen. But it didn't. He looked awesome. I was like, thank God.
Yep.
Brock Wright ends up getting hurt at the end of last season. That was a bummer.
How about you, Drew? Who do you think you're going to give your game ball to?
I was going to give my game ball to Jahmyr Gibbs, but by popular demand, pretty sure you guys want me to pick the master. Jake Bates.
Yeah.
Obviously, kicked the game winner, 44-yarder. Absolutely like down the middle. Hit the what do you call a celebration, George? You're an expert.
The Costco guys. The Rizzler.
We bring the boom.
Yeah.
Come on, Kane.
I
Come
mean-
on, Kane.
about the way you're doing it.
I think this solidifies him as our kicker moving forward. You know,
He's our guy.
Not just this season, but like, you know, I know it's been kind of a question mark for us the last couple of years, and yeah, I know.
No, you're right. You're right.
I've been outspoken about, you know, not thinking it's that big of a deal. I know, you know, kind of putting my foot in my mouth now.
No pun intended.
But
it's okay though. I mean, like, it's okay if you're going to be wrong about something. This is the perfect thing to be wrong about. You know what I mean? So we don't fault you for it. It has been a major issue, but it's not anymore. Game winner, down the middle, hit the boom dance on their ass or whatever it's called. So I really like that pick. And I like that you're giving them props.
I do think it's ridiculous.
I like that you're giving props.
I do think it's ridiculous that you said Amon-Ra was the best player on the field, because I think Jahmyr Gibbs, not even close. The run he had in the first quarter, was it first quarter or early second? When we were down 10-0, he broke off the 45-yarder. Absolutely juked the hell out of the Vikings player, and I thought that was the biggest momentum swinging point in the game. Just like, if that doesn't happen, we don't score a touchdown there. The Viking, you know, they're already up 10. I think the game could have gone differently. And
I agree with you, Drew. I think
honestly,
I don't think Amon-Ra was the best guy in the field. I think Jahmyr was great.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
Those two things are mutually exclusive.
No, but he had more yards from scrimmage. 15 carries, 118 yards, four catches, 44 yards.
Yeah. No, I mean, he was phenomenal. And I think
2 touchdowns.
He was phenomenal, and it's amazing that he stepped up like that, because Monty probably had his worst performance of the season. So glad he actually got to eat a little bit.
Well,
By the way, Drew, there's nothing wrong with liking feet in your mouth.
I will say, like, to all the haters,
Micah Parsons podcast.
all the haters that said it wasn't worth, you know, taking a running back early in the first round. This is exactly why you do it. When you're a Super Bowl contending team, this is why you have 2 starting caliber running backs. So that one has arguably his worst game as a Lion, the other one has arguably his best game as a Lion.
Beautiful. A beautiful combination. So my game ball, and it's gonna sound like this, it's gonna be the same discussion of the entire year. BB, baby. Man, he's a stud on defense. That pick, like the angle that you see on on TV, that shit looked nasty. It looked like he jumped out of nowhere. Ooh. Yeah, no, I got to give that game ball to BB.
That's a good game ball. That's a good game ball. He probably his last 2 week game balls. And wouldn't shock me if he gets a couple more from Dan Campbell this season.
I mean, he was our highest graded PFF player.
Oh. Yeah.
Yep.
I think he's the highest graded PFF, highest graded safety throughout 7 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, that is great, but PFF can shove it. That being said, game ball, I'm a little bit surprised. I had like some down the sheet kind of picks here, but I forgot how many good players we had in this game. I was going to go with like the linebackers with Rodrigo. He had a really nice game, I thought, but I mean, at the end of the day, Jared Goff has been on an absolute tear. So, you know, he picked apart that defense. He was if he had not had a pass bad down, that probably would have been a completion. He would have been 20 for 20 at one point again. He's the only player, I forget the stat, he's the only player maybe ever or in 50 years that's had 3 halves in one season of throwing no incompletions. So he's a game manager. He's the ultimate game manager. So Jared Goff.
Shout out to Cam Newton. Did you hear that?
What do you say?
He ranked his top 5 quarterbacks from this year, and he was like, he put Jared Goff at number 2. And he's been infamous for saying that Jared Goff is like a game manager, but he was like, he's the utmost game manager, just like Tom Brady looked out like through his career. So
Yep.
It does suck that, and I'll say, my Lamar Jackson takes. Lamar Jackson is having probably the best season of his career, which sucks because he shouldn't have won MVP last year, but he's gonna definitely win it this year. And if Jared Goff, I mean, it just sucks that Jared Goff can't run the ball because then it'll be more of an argument.
Hey, if Lamar has a tough stretch and Jared keeps balling like this, he has a chance still. But yeah, Lamar,
that's true.
Lamar's got two things going for him.
Yeah,
but he poops a lot, so who knows?
You're a clown.
Oh, dude, have you not seen him have to go off the field like 4 games a season? He has to go run in at halftime and
pulling a Paul Pierce. I think I've seen it like once or twice, but maybe like once. But
look up Bubble Guts Jackson.
All right. All right. So going into week 8, game 7, what concerns you from this Vikings game? Anything that we were lacking? What were you saying, George?
One concern of mine is we had 15 pressures against the Vikings this past game. And in Aiden's last full game that he played in, he had 15 pressures himself. So we're noticing the difference in pressures right there and his impact. Granted, we had a good game and everything went well our way in the end. But, I mean, his impact is noticed. I mean, guys have risen up and stepped up, and linebackers, I thought, had a good game. But, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves in that case.
Yeah, I think I second that. Seeing a lack of pass rush at times throughout the game, I will give Minnesota's offensive line some credit. They look like the second best offensive line in the league at times. So shout out to them for that. But the lack of pass rush was noticeable.
It was, but Kane, to your point, and I agree. They definitely need to make at least a B player move still, just to make sure to get him over the hump, especially against the AFC contenders. But the Vikings, to your credit, have a great offensive line. They're up there with the Lions. They've arguably, I mean, Decker's still a good player, but this year he's looked a step below where he was last year, and those Vikings tackles are supreme. So Hutch would have probably still had a good game, but that probably was the best offensive line we faced so far this year, and might be the best offensive line we faced all year. I still agree. It was noticeable, the difference. Even the defensive tackles looked a little bit, not lost at times, but just didn't have, they were able to key up on Aleem instead of Hutch. So that is a concern, but that's a good line.
Jim, it's interesting you bring up Taylor Decker because he arguably had his worst game as a Lion in this regime. He allowed 6 pressures. I'm pretty sure, up the whole season, he's allowed 7 plus, 6 against Minnesota. I'm just kind of curious how worried you guys are about, Taylor Decker kind of, more or less falling off.
This year, not a ton. I think he's not Penei Sewell level, but I think like you said, he only had 7 through 5 games before that, and one of them against Grenard, who's probably one of the more underrated edges in the league, and Vikings blitz a lot, and they throw a lot at you. So not a good game, and he's regressed a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be. Next season, I think, is the season we need to really look out.
Yeah. My concerns come from basically what you talked about at the beginning of the season, Jim. How obviously I think we need to go ahead and reinforce our line in this offseason. I think he'll be fine this season and throughout the playoffs, but definitely getting a left tackle in the 2nd and 3rd round. Brad Holmes working that magic in the draft. We need to see that. So I am a little concerned going into next season.
What are the chances that we move Penei over to the left?
I think
is there a benefit to that?
Well, it's arguably, more important position.
Because our quarterback's right-handed, so his back's turned.
Yeah, it's his blind side. Also, just I think it's a harder position to play, especially. I don't know if it's just me, but I've been noticing that Taylor Decker's been left on more one-on-ones than he has like in the past. And I think it's a change in our scheme. that's kind of put him out on the island more, could contribute to the struggle. I was just kind of curious.
Yeah.
It's a harder position to play in my eyes. Obviously, I never played left tackle, but
just to give a little transparency, he gave up a pretty bad sack, but he hasn't given up many pressures or sacks this year, has he? Or
No, he's had a couple like mediocre games. He hasn't had any disaster games. I don't think our offensive line has had one or two mediocre games. And Graham Glasgow's had a couple mediocre games, but all in all, like I think the advantage of the Lions line is number one, you've got an anchor in Penei Sewell. You've got when he's not hurt, you've got an anchor in Frank Ragnow, and Zeitler's played, great for how old he is. So I think like you can pick up a little bit of slack, and I think Taylor Decker, if he was like on an offensive line with way worse players, I think he might struggle more. But I think as a solid part of a great offensive line, I think he'll be okay. I mean, they're not going to leave him one-on-one with the edge every single time, especially if it's like a Max Crosby, Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett. But that's the same with Hutch. You know what I mean? Like Hutch eats up even good tackles. It just happens at times. Unless you're Penei Sewell or Tristan Wirfs or Trent Williams, like you're going to let up sacks and pressures. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Drew, we're a little worried, but I think we'll be fine throughout the season. Yeah.
Good point, though.
Yeah. I mean, you could say this little insight into the little overreactions that we might have, but my overreaction heading into next week. I think the Titans can be a little bit of a trap game. Just because they have nothing left to play for. I don't even know who the quarterback is. D-Hop's gone, right? Trade him away for draft capital. They're actively a team that looks like they're tanking. So you might get some like young rooks, some young guys in there that play their heart out. I'm thinking this game's going to be close, but the Lions edge it out. Am I overreacting?
Oh, they're edging now? No, I think you overreacting is not the right way to put it, because I definitely think it's a trap game in the sense that it's an objectively bad team. However, they're not the Panthers, and they're not some of those teams that are truly like they have nothing going for them. The Titans do have a solid run defense. The Titans do have an okay pass defense, and Tony Pollard is a good running back. So if we make mistakes, they will stick around in the game. But at the end of the day, I think Mason the Reindeer Rudolph is just going to get absolutely gut fucked in the. Okay, I should say he's going to get terrorized in the backfield. They just traded away. I mean, their receivers have been dog piss all year because of the Reindeer and
Will Levis and Reindeer, yeah.
Yeah, and Will Mayo Levis, and so I just don't see them putting up any points. They might be able to keep us. They might be able to keep themselves in the game if we turn the ball over.
Do you think the Titans can actually? Do you think they can score over 14 points against us? I don't think so. I don't think they could.
Now watch them go out and drop 28. But now their offense is anemic. Their defense is what keeps them in any game.
I think I'm overreacting. How about you, George? You got any overreactions headed into the rest of the year, into this next week?
It's a trap game. That's all. I just don't want any injuries. I just pray to God no injuries. I don't even care if we lose to these pussies. I just fucking don't want any injuries.
Do you think we're gonna suffer with JMO being out these next 2 weeks?
Not this week.
Can we just say that's a little loser mentality, George. Come on, what is that?
Loser mentality. All right, dude, Drew, you want me to tell you the truth? We should cram their fucking ass. There's no reason we shouldn't fucking beat the living shit out of them. Are you kidding me?
Then don't say I don't care if we lose.
This
to
is
these
a dumbass
fuckers.
game that we gotta play.
Hurt. You sound like a fucking soccer mom.
If
that's got orange
that's
slices
a loser mentality,
on the sideline, being like, as long as everybody had fun and nobody got hurt.
I didn't say have fun.
Like, what?
I said this game's a waste of our fucking time because we're too good for that.
Your Honda Odyssey?
That's what it is. I don't want players getting hurt. I don't want the backups playing their hearts out like whoever just said, and fucking somebody ends up getting hurt because of it. Fuck all that. We should cram their shit.
Right. You want to see Craig Reynolds?
Don't that loser mentality. I predicted we won every single game.
You want to see Craig Reynolds and Hendon Hooker get some spin. I got you. I got you, Drew.
It's loser mentality.
That is not loser mentality. That's protecting my team mentality.
Now, I will say, I do think some of the older guys, I honestly think like anybody who's like marginally injured should play less this game, especially if we're up early. I agree with that statement, but I don't hope If we lose, I'll freak out. It's a horrible team. You can't lose against horrible. You can
Yeah,
lose.
no,
To,
if we lose this game, it'll be abysmal.
It'll change my perspective on the season just a tad.
Yeah. I honestly don't even know what to expect because, like, obviously at the end of this, we're going to give our predictions for what we think the score is going to be. And if I say something ridiculous like 35-10, does that make me look at my just being a overzealous Lions fan? Like, I don't even know.
No, the Titans are cheeks.
They're setting the line at -11. Lions -11. So it's like they're begging you to take. Yeah, that's I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure it's the largest line of the slate this Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Biggest spread, I mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're cheeks. I think they're probably the worst. I mean, it's kind of funny because there's like 3 really, really bad teams. You know, there's the Panthers and the Patriots.
The Panthers are the worst.
The
Patriots,
Patriots are imploding too. Like,
yep. No, you're right.
Thing about,
you're right about that.
Gerard Mayo. Like,
what came out about him?
Just that, like, he called his team soft.
Oh, and Bill. Yeah. Bill responded.
Yeah, because apparently, like, last year, even though they were, Patriots were trash, they still were good against the run, which is, like, kind of the ultimate test if a team is soft or not.
If you're a tough team, yeah, right.
Yeah, if you're a tough team, even if you suck, you can defend against the run. Right.
Yeah, those stupid pussies.
So, also, Gerard Mayo, like, kind of looks like Jim Caldwell on the sideline. Just like
a younger, way more athletic version.
No, like he does not. Like his like you don't know if he's alive or not. He needs to be hooked up to like an EKG or something. To
pretty even tempered.
Mm-hmm.
There's a subgenre of coaches that you don't know what they're thinking at any given time, and one of them is Gerard Mayo. The other one's Raheem Morris. He's on the sidelines, or not Raheem Morris. Sorry, yeah, him, but also Todd Bowles. Those two guys. If you were looking on the sidelines, especially Todd Bowles, he's always looking like this.
Always.
Like, all right, they can score a touchdown. He goes.
Maybe this is my overreaction. Is that Dan Campbell is the best? Like, he never overreacts and he's never underreacting. Like, I feel like he's like his sideline presence. I guess I don't really know what I'm saying, but his sideline presence seems like
it matches the. Yeah,
it matches the energy of the game. Like, he's always
he gets up, he never gets down. Honestly.
But he's also never like overreacting excitement. Like he's
yeah.
He gets pretty like heated or like
up? What
he gets right in the face.
But it's always appropriate. It's always appropriate. Like sometimes you see these guys like screaming at the refs about like a penalty call that's like on it's the team's fault. It's like the team jumped off sides and he's yelling at the ref. Like, come on.
That's Mick. Who's the McFleur? What's his last name? Is it McFleur?
LaFleur?
LaFleur. I knew it was something Fleur. Anyways, I didn't know if it was Mick.
Irish Frenchman.
Something Fleur.
Was he an Irish Frenchman? Yeah,
dude, he overreacts like crazy. He'll like throw a challenge flag and he waits. He purposely is waiting and he'll be like at the refs like and his team's just standing there like waiting for either the play to happen or for them to review it. He's a little pansy, though, so that's just him.
Yeah. All right.
You're good. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't have much expectations. I'm not expecting anything to see out of the Titans, really. So, I'm expecting the Detroit Lions offense to put up a lot of points. I think you don't want to see the guys late in the game, but Jared Goff, if we want to get him to MVP, I think he needs to put up like 400 yards, 4 touchdowns this game. Get Laporta involved. Expectations on defense. So Vikings are a tough test. They got probably the second best offensive line in the league. What if we actually go out there, our D line, and we put up some pressures? We get some tackles for loss, get some sacks. So maybe this is a true test of like, hey, if you can't get pressures against Will Levis or Rudolph, whoever's playing, making horrible decisions back there, if you can't get a fumble or a sack, then you need to go ahead and make some decisions moving forward. So that's my only thoughts on the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you guys think that oh, sorry. Go ahead, Drew.
I guess I think so little of the Titans that like no matter what the outcome is, I think it's almost like a throwaway game. Like you bury the tape. Because if we play super well, I don't think it's a good barometer of how we finish. And if we, finish or if we lose.
Isn't that what I just fucking said? What the fuck?
Okay, George Jr.
I think
shocked.
we're gonna
I'm just
cram
shocked.
their shit, and if we lose, who gives a fuck?
I'm shocked by the two of you.
Holy shit!
Hey, you guys got to talk after this offline. You guys got to settle your differences.
I'm not saying I don't care if they lose. I'm just saying it's a bury the tape game as far as the season.
Hey, you're taking my words.
I'm not going to put any.
You don't think I'll care?
I'm not going to put. I don't think it's a good barometer. I'm not going to put any I don't think that's
fair.
Weight on it,
I agree with you. If
they lose, that would be the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
So what's your guys' score predictions going to be then?
41-17.
Ooh,
41.
Juicy
You think they score 17 points is crazy, but 41. So beat them by 24 points. Cover.
Lions.
How about you, George?
31-17. Lions.
Yeah, no, you got to actually clarify whether you're,
Lions.
what team you're choosing.
31-17 Lions.
You guys both? Holy shit. Okay, Jim.
28-3 Titans. No, I would say it'll be. I'm thinking 34-13. No, that's too fucked up. 27-13 Lions. I don't want to. It's the NFL, so you don't want to automatically. It's not like college football where you can.
What number did you just have a seizure?
Yeah, I did actually.
What number did he choose? Actually, what was the score? I missed it. I was laughing.
27-13 Lions.
You guys are being way too gracious. I'm looking at some of the scores of these games. I'm going 41-10 Lions.
Wow.
You guys are out of control.
Wow, that's awesome.
You guys got to understand. This is not like Ohio State against Purdue.
It might be worse.
No. The Cowboys, number one, are just coward losers. They're just losers. And number two...
Dak Prescott is 10 times better than any quarterback on that roster.
He is, but that's the other thing. They're not going to let him throw. If Mason Rudolph or Will Levis turns the ball over twice, they're going to be like, we're just running Tony Pollard to the game's over. We'll go home.
Right.
Fair enough. Against a stout Lions rush
Who
defense.
do you guys prefer to play, Will Levis or Mason Rudolph?
I
kind of want Will Levis myself because I think he'd just do some goofball shit combined with the Lions. We always got some good fun in our
that turnover prop bet will go crazy if Will Levis plays. That will go crazy.
Yeah, Rudolph could be boringly competent. I want some chaos, even if it means they get an extra 4 or 5 points out of it, like an extra field goal or an extra touchdown or something. I'd rather have that and us win, maybe get a couple sweet pick sixes or something versus Mason Rudolph come out there, go 9 for 20 for 64 yards. No thanks. Boring.
They get like 4 field goals, something ridiculous.
The Lions win 27-12 because the Titans had the ball for 35 minutes. Kill me.
I will say if I pray to God this doesn't happen, but if somehow we got blown out, I would care about that loss. That would make I'd be thinking about a lot of things then.
If we get blown out, yeah. You might hop up top of town apartments and see a nice view cannon on my way down.
All right, so I think we can all agree that the Lions are going to win at least pretty handedly. Now for our favorite part of the week, player prop bets. Let's just give a little brief overview. So I am now 7 weeks straight green bean. I've hit all 7 weeks. Let's see here. It looks like George and Jim are tied with only two losses. And then Drew's only hit 1 week this year. Only one bet this year, so.
Aren't you the resident bettor?
Yeah. Yeah, man. He's the guy he's always giving us his takes and whatnot, but we never take him, I guess.
Too much.
All right,
Galaxy
George, you're first this week. What are your player prop bets?
All right, I'm taking Mason Rudolph under 196.5.
That actually might be good because what if he doesn't even play?
Exactly. Straight cash. Straight cash.
Under, you said 196.5?
Correct.
Okay, good. I like that. Drew, you're up, buddy.
Monty bounce back game over 55.5.
Over 55.5.
I also just think there's going to be a lot of running in this game. because it's going to be a blowout.
Speaking of, we got a Craig Reynolds rushing prop? Let me see here.
They don't. They're not on FanDuel or whatever. What DraftKings?
Ooh.
You think Craig's getting the ball? What the hell? What's up with that comment?
The fourth quarter.
He's gonna get it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, take the Hendon Hooker over.
Hendon Hooker over under 12.5 yards. Over.
George is going to be screaming for Hendon Hooker. Get Goff out! Don't let him get hurt!
Hey, we should have brought Aiden out.
Fourth quarter.
We should have taken Aiden out early.
Get Goff out.
Coaching error.
All right. Hey, this one is scary, but I keep winning and I want to be challenged.
Oh my God.
Okay, I want to be challenged. Receptions over for Sam Laporta, 3.5. Reception total, Sam Laporta over 3.5.
Since you did that, can I not take his yardage over?
No, you definitely can.
God.
Can we parlay that?
We're going to parlay everything anyway.
Don't we parlay it every week?
I know, but will the app allow you? Because they're like...
Yeah, it will.
All right, so here's mine then. Over Sam Laporta, 34.5 yards. My free bet of the week, Calvin Ridley, just because I want to prove that trade was not. No, the three people on this podcast know. Other people might not know. I'm going to prove that was a good trade for our good friends, the average Lion fan. We need to get back on the show.
Hit
accept. Over 44.5 yards for Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, hit accept.
Yeah,
he did.
Accept.
Hey, Jacob, when you listen to this, hit accept, bro.
Hey, I actually, I had to share what happened when I missed the draft. I think, Jim, we need to hear from you.
You gotta share your business. What happened?
I'm not ashamed to share it. Here's the bottom line. Everyone acts like they're a medical doctor now. Not even a shot at Drew, shot at everybody else. So here's the deal. We have a guy in our league who you all know is Jake. He's most average Lions fan. Horrific team. He won the league 1 year and he was good another year, but other than that, he's usually just dog piss. CMC's been rotting on his bench. Hasn't played 1 week. And there's reports he's going to Germany. He's got double Achilles tendonitis. But he might be cooked for the rest of his life. Plus, there's Jordan Mason. All these guys in the 49ers. So I think, what the hell? Might as well throw some random guys at him, see if he'll take it. He takes it. What am I supposed to say?
What
players did you give him?
Calvin Ridley.
And?
Who, by the way, wide receiver 1 on the Titans now.
The worst quarterback. They don't even throw the ball. Anyways,
not if Mason Rudolph's playing.
All right, fair enough. So Calvin Ridley and who else?
Christian Kirk. Who, let me tell you something. When Evan Ingram was out, he was doing well. So if Evan Ingram...
is even Evan Ingram out?
Well, he gets hurt. He gets hurt often. So, but look, here's what I'm saying. No, one other person said, "Let me give Jake an offer." Not one person. Why not?
What the thing though is in fine. Like, let's just say you got a sweet deal, right? Maybe it'll help him. Maybe Christian won't come back. Maybe he will, right? I think the thing that drives a lot of us is we all know from listening to Jacob his aptitude for NFL teams, and then you texted him, hit accept, like you're encouraging him. Don't worry about it. Just hit accept.
What, you like the trade? Take it. Hit accept. That's it. You say, okay, awesome.
I use an what
hit
are you,
accept.
Why are you the one that's allowed to arbit?
I pointed it out in the first
text.
place. That's a crazy thing to say.
Said over text after he says, "Yeah, let's do the trade."
You guys give me a hard time for
I got a good trade and you're gonna lose again.
Right,
2 and
5,
that's fine. 3 and 4, dog piss. The 2 lowest point totals in the league, by the way.
Hey,
hit
James.
accept and hit accept part 2. 2 lowest point totals in the league.
Hey, listen to this, James.
Hey, fuck you. I'm in 4th place.
I'll give you this credit. You were first. You noticed that 2 of Jake's receivers got hurt. You're quick to the punch. You gave him an absolute dog fuck of a trade early that any one of us could have matched or given better. Sure. And you said even yourself you were surprised that he accepted it. And then after that, you said hit accept, but you guys all gave me a hard time for babying Jacob. What are you doing? You babying his way into accepting that trade? Or are you coercing him and trying to make sure he accepts it before he second guesses himself?
Dun 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 dun.
You tell me. Hit accept is a crazy thing to text somebody, and it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, kind of pathetic approach on your part, but that's fine.
That's not pathetic.
And guys, that's the fantasy league drama.
I don't know why you're still worked up, but I thought
Hey,
we were
what
over,
else?
but
What
hey.
else happened?
We're having
You
fun
want,
with
this
it.
is why I was originally irritated, because you're acting like I'm literally fleecing a poor homeless man out of all this pressure.
That's kind of what it is.
He kind of is. He doesn't have a
In
home.
football terms, it kind of is.
I sent him a trade offer. He says yes. I say, okay, hit accept. I said hit accept and let's make this puppy howl. I'm trying
No,
to make a
you
fun little
you
text.
said it,
That's literal text.
you knew you needed to walk
I
him
don't want to
through
hear
the
from bottom feeder.
steps.
I don't want to hear from bottom feeder. Bottom feeder, keep out of it. 'Cause I could have done
I don't have the lowest point total.
All right.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're 2-5, buddy. So here's the bottom line.
Hey,
There's a reason winners win. There's
hey,
a reason
what
losers
happened
lose.
in the group
Winners
chat?
look
What
proactively at
happened
the
in the
bottom of
group
the league, see
chat?
what they need.
All right, hey, all right.
It's
Listen,
luck because of people
you guys
like
are
Jordan.
now caught up on the fantasy league drama. Jim did, in fact, leave the group message from his harassment that he received.
Yeah,
Well
I didn't want
deserved.
to hear it anymore.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Lions Main Podcast. Talked Vikings and talked a little bit of our preview heading into the Titans game. And as always,
Rams are up.
thank you guys.